Hi everyone, and in this episode of Python 3 Crash Course, we're going to be going over input. So in the past videos, we've gone over how do we print things out to the console, but what if we need to get things like numbers or letters or file names in from the user, say like at runtime. And so let's go ahead and open up our example and we'll see how we can do that. So we'll go ahead and go to input.py and open it up. So to start out, we'll show that, how do we get, say, if we want to ask someone what their favorite number is. Now, in this case, what we'll do is we'll print out, pick your favorite number. So we'll prompt the user to, we'll ask that question. And then we'll assign number equal to input. Now, what input will do is it will prompt the user for an input and it waits for a return character key. So when we press enter, it will return and it will put whatever you typed in into that variable number. So we'll go ahead and use an f string and we'll print out what number is. If you're unfamiliar with f strings, you can go ahead and look at the other video where we go over how f strings work. So then the second thing we do is we can see that we have what if we want to have, say, number on the same line. So right now, we know when we do print, after we call print, we'll start on the next line. So right now, this will say, pick your favorite number, go to a new line, and then we'll write this number on a new line. Well, maybe we want to have the person have the question and what they're typing to be on the same line. So in this case, we'll do the same thing. But in this case, in print itself, we'll do this comma, and then end equals, and then we'll do just a space here. Now when we do this, what happens when we do print is that end implicitly has a single character in it. That's a return character. So something like this, some new line character. So implicitly end is set to this. So if we set end to be just a space instead, it will not print a new line, and we'll get a new line after we call input and we press return. Remember, input waits for you to press that return key in order to take whatever value you wrote and put it into number. And we'll put that in again. Now we can do this even more cleanly though, if we just use input itself. So input, if you give it a string as an argument, will automatically print the string out when you're asking for a number. So then we remove the need to have an extra line of code that says print. And it will still assign it to number, and we will print it again. Now, an important thing to note is, so while we may be typing a number like, say, 7 or 8, that number isn't getting stored as, say, an integer in number. It's actually going to get stored as a string. So everything that we get from input will be a string. So if you want to use it as an actual number when we maybe are doing some kind of computation, like let's say we make a calculator, so we'll need to do casting. So we'll need to cast it as an integer. And if you're unfamiliar with casting, we have another video on that as well. So I encourage you to check that out. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So what should we do? We should print pick your favorite number. Then it'll print a new line, and then we'll put an input, and then it'll print what our favorite number is. And now both of these two examples should print the exact same thing, besides it's saying second and third. And it should be the question, the number, and then on a new line, the line that says your third or your second favorite number. And then when we print out the type of number, we should get a string. So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so we'll do Python3 input.py. And so you see, we're not progressing to all the other prints. It's waiting for input. So let's say that my favorite number is 17. So it'll go ahead and take that in as a string, and then printing it with an f string, it says your favorite number is 17. Now, when we set in to just be a space, we see that it doesn't print a new line when we do that print statement. And now our question of telling you to put in your second favorite number is going to be the same line that we're typing on. So in this case, let's say our favorite number is 73. All right, so it prints out your favorite number is 73. And then we see that if we just use input by itself, but put a string in as a parameter instead of nothing as a parameter, it does the exact same thing as the last case. We save a line of code. So let's say our favorite number is, 2012. Maybe we really like that year. So we'll go ahead and print it out. And then we see that when it'll print out our favorite number is 2012. But then we see when we print out the type of number that it's actually a string. Okay, so remember, it's very important that if we want to use that value that we get in, even if we say that it's a number, we say, we type in a number, Python is going to read it always as a string. So we'll have to do casting on it if we want to do some kind of calculation and treat it as a number. So that's going to do it for our example for today. If we go to the GitHub page at github.com/coffeebeforearch, we have all the code from all of our videos that we make up here. So in this case, we're at Python3 Crash Course. Down here, we have links to all the videos and then the corresponding files and concepts of those videos. And then if we go to Fundamental Concepts, Program Input, we see input.py, our example. So feel free to download this, check it out, run it on your own. And feel free to message me if you have any questions or if there's any particular topics that you would like covered. As always, I'm Nick from Coffee Before Arch, and I hope you have a nice day.